Peggy 12.
How would we react to sort of an animal that's so incredible? Would we be scared of it? Would we want to kill it? Would we want to form a relationship with it? Today I was introduced to The Last Guardian for the first time. It's a story set in a sort of fantastic structural world of a young boy and this mythical creature which is sort of half griffin, half dog cat. You take on the role of the young boy and his encounter with this fantastic creature. In the game itself, there's a development of a relationship, a communication and a bond. So taking a step back, we've got to ask ourselves, is that kind of relationship a real one? These kind of bonds happen in real life. People form relationships with their companion animals. Animals themselves form bonds. Sometimes when it's different species, they have to get to know each other, as we are with our animals that we keep. Part of the real demand for people and animals is to understand how to relate to each other, how to form a relationship, and how to communicate. In real life, if it was a young boy encountering a dog for the first time, there would be this distance between the two of them as they both worked each other out. And I found that initial encounter quite realistic, that the animal is reacting as an animal would if it was wounded or captive, and the animal will come from a more instinctive level. Is he a threat? Is he a part of his social group or is he outside of it? The boy would be asking, will this creature bite me? Will it attack me? In order to calm an animal that's injured, what becomes important is the tone of voice and the calmness and the way that the communication is put into place. It's got to be slow, it's got to be gentle, it's got to be reassuring. If you think about horse whispering, where they will use a very gentle tone and at the same time breathe into the horse's nostrils, that's where it's picking up the fact that that person then becomes part of that herd. Some of the earlier stages of the development of trust and social interaction comes with feeding. It's a primary resource. Many animals that we keep, companion animals, the process of the initial relationship starts with that feeding, and from that point the animal begins to understand that part of the relationship is this social aspect of sharing food. That becomes the process of real trust and bonding. You've got food, you're sharing it with me. When the boy has fed Trico and unchained him and released him, there's another process going on where the animal becomes attached to the boy because of this aspect of the relationship. And from then on, the boy has a need. He wants to interact with the animal. And that's close to us wanting to stroke a warm-blooded animal. That helps us get serotonin. It's part of a comfort blanket system, makes us feel good. So in this situation, the animal is trying to relate to the boy because he's been released, he's been given food. The boy wants to relate to the animal to gain its trust. There are a great many real examples of animals becoming very important. Dogs can become hearing dogs, they can become doing dogs. It's amazing now the importance of the relationship. And in fact, there's some anthropologists believe that we wouldn't have evolved if it wasn't for this fantastic relationship that we formed with animals. A lot of animal training comes from direction. People who train dolphins will often send away and getting the animal to move to particular signals and sounds. Trico, in that way, is looking to the boy, what do you want me to do? And the boy's saying, this is what I want you to do. People can train animals and direct particular behaviour by using objects. Interestingly enough, in dogs and cats, they can often become fixated with points of light and move towards that light. So in the game, where you could see the shield being reflective and could point to a direction. That's a process that can be learned by an animal. And there are many real-life situations where an animal becomes protective of an owner. Because the bond is so close, the relationship's so important, that it's a natural behaviour to be protective, especially if they encounter something that's dangerous. At the beginning, you can see Trico and the boy are both uncertain of each other, but as the bond develops and the trust between them becomes stronger, rather than be uncertain of each other, they start to become more confident of each other, and it is a joint goal and a joint experience. And really that's true of all companionships in life. Life's an adventure. So in real life, if we encountered a creature as fantastic as Trico, that could leap those great heights and could fire from its tail, who knows what could be possible?
PS4 for the players.